Meet John. It is 6 a.m. on January 1st. He wakes up with a fire in his chest that he hasn't felt in years. The air feels different today. The calendar has flipped, and with it, he believes his soul has flipped too. He looks at his old, dusty running shoes in the corner, the same ones he bought last January with the same trembling excitement, and he tells himself a lie. He thinks, today is finally the day. The cycle breaks. He buy a 12-month discounted gym membership and a New Year's resolution online course. It was 20% off. A steal, he tells himself. He purges his pantry with righteous anger, throwing away the sugar like he's exorcising a demon. He spends 3 hours inscribing his New Year, New Me manifesto. In this moment, John is certain he will succeed. He is a god in his own mind. He is intoxicated by the ghost of the person he might become. But if we zoom out, the tragedy reveals itself. He did this last year, and year before that. The date changed, but the data is frozen. He isn't moving toward a goal. He is sprinting inside a hamster wheel. The data shows that by February, 31% of his peers will have vanished. By March, 53% are gone. And by April, John will be part of the 66% who have officially surrendered. He is a ghost, trapped in a loop of his own hope, unaware that the very motivation he feels is just a chemical peak before an inevitable, scheduled crash. Every year, millions of people participate in a collective hallucination. We call them resolutions, but the industry? They call it the annual harvest. They lure you in when your confidence is at its highest and your logic is at its lowest. This trap is fueled by the fresh start effect, a temporal landmark, where your brain treats January 1st like a reset button. It tricks you into thinking your past failures belong to a different person, giving you a surge of norepinephrine, a chemical fire in the chest that makes you feel unstoppable. Why do you think they offer those massive discounts on 12-month contracts or lifetime access courses only in January? It's not a gift. It's an insurance policy against your own biology. They know that while you feel like a new person today, you are still running on ancient hardware. When you announce a goal or sign that year-long contract, your ventral striatum, the brain's reward center, releases a massive burst of dopamine. This is the reward hormone. But here's the fatal flaw. Your brain cannot distinguish the difference between doing the work and imagining the reward. This is substitution theory, a biological bait and switch. By fantasizing about your success and investing in that 12-month plan, you've already given your brain the win it was looking for. You are getting high on your own supply. You've effectively spent the motivation you needed for the actual journey on a 3 a.m. fantasy. You've cashed the check before doing the job. You've paid for 12 months of a life you will only live for 3. And it leaves you cognitively bankrupt or mentally empty the very moment the real work begins. Why is it so easy to fall for the trap? Because your brain is an energy conservation machine. It is hard-coded to save power, and habit change is the most expensive thing you can ask it to do. Every time you try to build a new routine, you are asking your dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, the CEO of your brain, to work overtime. But the CEO has a limited battery life. Every minor decision you make, from choosing your breakfast to answering a stressful email, drains that battery. By the time you get home, you hit decision fatigue. Your brain is mentally bankrupt. That's when the basal ganglia, your brain's autopilot, takes over. The autopilot doesn't care about your New Year's resolution. It only cares about neural efficiency. It wants to do whatever is fastest and cheapest for your brain. It wants the couch. It wants the sugar. You aren't fighting laziness. You are fighting myelinated pathways. Every time you repeat a bad habit, your brain wraps that circuit in a layer of fatty insulation called myelin to make the signal travel faster. Over the years, you've essentially hardwired your bad habits into a high-speed circuit. Your new resolution is a slow, weak signal trying to compete with a lightning bolt. You are bringing a knife to a tank fight, and your own biology is the tank. You don't need more willpower to fight the tank. You need to change the wiring. If you want to break the cycle, you don't need more dopaminergic drive or simple motivation. you need a neuro-correction. We are moving away from the theater of cognitive control and into the reality of environmental scaffolding. This is a 7-phase protocol designed to hotwire your biological hardware so that you execute the mission even when you're too tired to care. Phase 1. Photonic calibration. The protocol begins the moment your eyes open. Within the first 30 minutes of waking, you need to view natural sunlight for at least 10 minutes. This isn't for the vibes. You are physically triggering the suprachiasmatic nucleus, your brain's master clock. Sunlight hits your retina and activates melanopsin, a protein that signals your brain to suppress melatonin immediately and start a 16-hour countdown for its re-release. By doing this, you are regulating your cortisol awakening response, ensuring your energy baseline is stabilized before the day's stressors even arrive. Phase 2. The 90-minute analog window. Once the clock is set, you must enforce a strict 90-minute digital blackout. No phones, no emails, no scrolling. Based on Dr. Gloria Mark's research on attentional fragmentation, checking your phone immediately triggers a variable reward schedule, a digital slot machine that destabilizes your ventral striatum. By keeping your morning analog, you allow your adenosine to clear naturally. You are preventing the brain fog that leads to impulsive decision-making, ensuring your brain uses its own chemistry as fuel rather than cheap dopamine hits. Phase 3. Metabolic delay. While your brain is clearing, you need to hold off on caffeine for 90 to 120 minutes. Most people drink coffee to get energy, but caffeine is actually an adenosine antagonist. It doesn't provide fuel, it just blocks the receptors that tell you you're tired. By waiting, you allow the morning's residual adenosine to be fully processed by your liver. If you ingest caffeine too early, you create a chemical debt that results in the inevitable 2 p.m. crash. Phase 4. The frictionless keystone. To bypass the exhausted CEO in your head, you must use environmental priming. This means preparing your physical workspace 12 hours in advance. If the mission is deep work, the phone is in another room and the laptop is open. If it's fitness, your shoes are placed in your direct path of travel. According to the Fogg behavior model, behavior only occurs when motivation and ability converge. By removing every milligram of physical friction, you maximize your ability. You don't decide to start. You simply fall into a behavioral architecture that was prepared while your mind was still sharp. Phase 5. Implementation intentions. Next, you must code your day with implementation intentions. This is the use of if-then scripts. If I feel the urge to check my phone, then I will stand up and stretch. Research by Dr. Peter Gollwitzer shows that these scripts facilitate synaptic strengthening. You are moving the decision-making process from the high-energy prefrontal cortex to the low-energy basal ganglia. You aren't choosing anymore. You are simply executing a heuristic algorithm. Phase 6. Digital sunset. The restoration of the system requires a digital sunset. 2 hours before sleep, you must eliminate blue light and high-stimulation content. Blue light suppresses melatonin and keeps your dorsolateral prefrontal cortex in a state of artificial alertness. This prevents the glymphatic system, your brain's waste clearance mechanism, from activating. Proper sleep is a metabolic pressure wash required to clear the neural debris of the day. Without it, you are running tomorrow's hardware on yesterday's trash. Phase 7. Biological latency. Finally, you must respect the 168-hour rule. Biology has a physical speed limit. It takes 48 hours for your receptors to begin downregulating and 72 hours for synaptic pruning to clear out old habit loops. By day 7, you achieve long-term potentiation, the physical thickening of your new neural pathways. You aren't fighting for a result yet. You are fighting for the time it takes the hardware to finish the update.